Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Air, a webinar about indoor air quality and its relation to human health. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Claire Luke, the Program Manager at EcoSchools Canada, and I'll be presenting this webinar today. Before we get started, I would like to take a few moments to read our organizational land acknowledgement. EcoSchools is a national organization aiming to support, amplify, and celebrate diverse communities across Turtle Island. To deepen and reconcile our relationships with these communities, we are currently working on acknowledging the many ways of knowing and integrating Indigenous perspectives into our programming and communication. We are committed to continually develop our personal and organizational role and responsibilities to better connect with land, water, air, plants, and animals around us and learn more about how we can engage, support, honor, and celebrate diverse cultures, voices, perspectives, and communities across Turtle Island. As a part of a growing network of schools and partners, we will continue to encourage this reflection, growth, and practice with the communities we serve. Here's the agenda for the webinar. We'll start with an overview about the properties of air and indoor air quality. Next, we'll talk about the ways to reduce indoor air pollutants, specifically carbon monoxide, mold, and ventilation. We'll wrap up by going over how to connect this work to your EcoSchools certification. All right, let's get started. We'll learn a little more about air and indoor air quality. So what is air? Air is an invisible, odorless, and tasteless mixture of gases that exist within Earth's atmosphere. Air is primarily composed of two gases, nitrogen, approximately 78%, and oxygen, approximately 21%. The remaining 1% of air is composed of other trace gases, including carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Air also contains many tiny particles and molecules called aerosols. Aerosols, such as dust, pollen, mold, and carbon monoxide, can be contributors to pollution and poor air quality. Breathing, or respiration, is the process of moving air in and out of the lungs. Breathing helps humans bring oxygen into the body and release carbon dioxide from the body. All humans need air to breathe and rely on clean air to thrive. Indoor air quality, or IAQ, refers to the air quality within a building and often refers to how it affects the health and comfort of people within the building. So, why is learning about indoor air quality so important? Well, it's estimated that Canadians spend 90% of their time indoors. When we breathe polluted air, it can have an effect on our health. Short-term health effects from air pollutants include irritation of the eyes, nose, and throat, headaches, dizziness, and fatigue. Long-term effects include some respiratory diseases, heart disease, and cancer. Understanding and reducing indoor air pollutants can help reduce the associated health risks for building occupants. Causes of poor air quality can include smoking, fuel-burning appliances, such as wood-burning fireplaces or wood stoves, if they're not installed or maintained properly, cooking, dampness, and water leaks, activities that take place in an attached garage, such as an idling car, poor ventilation, certain hobbies, household items, personal care products, or building materials. Okay, let's dive a bit deeper into indoor air quality and how it can impact human health. We will now look at the strategies to maintain and improve indoor air quality, including removing or reducing sources of air contamination, such as carbon monoxide and mold, and by improving ventilation. We'll start by talking about carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide, also known as CO, consists of one carbon atom and one oxygen atom. It is a gas that does not have any smell, taste, or color and is produced when you burn fuel, such as oil, wood, and natural gas. It is also contained in secondhand smoke. Carbon monoxide can be present indoors at any time of the year. However, the risk is greater in winter months because of the increased use of heating appliances that emit CO, such as furnaces, wood stoves, water heaters, and boilers. These appliances can release carbon monoxide indoors if they're not installed or maintained correctly, or if they malfunction. So why is carbon monoxide bad for human health? Carbon monoxide reduces your body's ability to carry oxygen to your blood. Therefore, breathing in carbon monoxide can cause health problems. Breathing large amounts of carbon monoxide, or for an extended period of time, can cause carbon monoxide poisoning with symptoms that range from tiredness, headaches, dizziness, and chest pain, and in very severe cases, even death. Here are some simple guidelines for how to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. Prevent smoking indoors. Keep the door between your house and garage closed and well sealed. Avoid idling your car, snowblower, lawnmower, or any gas-powered equipment in the garage, even if the door is open. Do not use a barbecue or portable fuel-burning camping equipment inside a home, garage, vehicle, camper, or tent. And regularly maintain fuel-burning appliances, such as your furnace. Carbon monoxide can also be detected by a carbon monoxide alarm. This small and simple device can save your life. Guidelines for carbon monoxide detectors are: all homes, schools, businesses, and other buildings should have functioning carbon monoxide alarms installed. Ensure that when purchasing a smoke or CO alarm, that there is a recognized Canadian certification mark from an organization that is accredited by the Standards Council of Canada. These marks, such as CSA, CUL, ULC, or CETL, should appear directly on the product, not just on the packaging. All homes should have at least one working certified carbon monoxide alarm adjacent to sleeping areas. All carbon monoxide alarms should be tested regularly, and batteries or the alarm should be replaced as recommended by the manufacturer. We'll now move on to talking about mold. Mold is a common word for any fungus that grows on food or damp building materials. Mold can grow in damp or wet areas in a building caused by water leaks, flooding, or high humidity that results from everyday activities like cooking or showering. It can grow on wood, paper, fabrics, drywall, and insulation. When mold finds a damp place to grow, it can contribute to poor air quality and health problems. Mold can cause eyes, nose, and throat irritation, sneezing, difficulty breathing, and worsening of asthma symptoms. Here are some ways to prevent mold. Look for and fix any damp spots or leaks as soon as possible. Use kitchen and bathroom exhaust fans when cooking or showering, and keep humidity levels between 30 to 50% indoors, and if needed, use a dehumidifier or air conditioner to reduce humidity. Finally, we'll talk about ventilation. Ventilation is the movement of air into or out of homes and buildings. Proper ventilation is an important component of good indoor air quality. The best way to improve indoor air quality is to keep pollutants out. Ventilation improves indoor air quality by removing pollutants from inside the building and by bringing fresh air from outside. Proper ventilation is especially important when renovating or using chemical products indoors. There are two types of ventilation: natural ventilation and mechanical ventilation. Natural ventilation is when air moves between inside and outside through open windows, doors, chimneys, vents, or cracks in the walls, foundations, door panels, or window panels. An older home or building may have higher natural ventilation rates than newer buildings that are tightly built. And mechanical ventilation allows airflow by using fans, ducting, and designed openings in the house. Examples of mechanical ventilation include kitchen and bathroom fans and heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, or HVAC systems. Here are the signs of low ventilation. Ventilation of an indoor space may need to be increased if you notice high humidity, for example, if you see condensation on windows in winter, mold growing in a house or in a building, odors that linger, for example, from cooking, a general feeling of stuffiness. Signs of high ventilation include higher than average heating or cooling bills, very dry air in the winter, or moving of too much cool air from outside through cracks or opening, drafts, and discomfort. Here's how to improve indoor ventilation. You can improve your indoor air quality by doing the following: opening windows when possible, and remember to check your local Air Quality Health Index, or AQHI, before opening the windows. Let fans run after bathing or when cooking. Set your mechanical ventilation system to a higher setting, run longer, or if necessary, have your ventilation system checked by a qualified ventilation contractor. And use a furnace fan, or if necessary, a separate fan or air supply to make sure air is distributed throughout the indoor space. In the associated Let's Talk Air resource guide, there are many facts and information on this topic and a series of activities that can be conducted with your health or science class, both at school or remotely. Students will have the opportunity to learn about how air quality affects human health and ways to improve it. The resource guide is accessible through the resources section of the Let's Talk Air action on the EcoSchools certification application. I'll explain how to add this action to your certification application now. If you're watching this webinar today, it's likely you've already logged onto the EcoSchools certification application this year and started your plan. That's the first step, and if you're having any trouble with this, please contact us at programs@ecoschools.ca. On the slide, you'll see a screenshot of the ECA library. This is where you go to add actions to your plan. To add the Let's Talk Air action to your plan, you can use the search fields where the first arrow is pointing to look for it, and then click on the plus button on the action. It will now be in your plan. Once the action is in your plan, you can open it up and you will see the following areas of the action. At the top, there is an About section, which gives an overview of the action and why it is important. Next to About, you will see the Curriculum section, where broad curriculum connections have been made. The SDG sectioning indicates which Sustainable Development Goals the action connects to. In the action guide, this is where you'll find guidelines on how to complete the action, which includes much of what we've talked about today. The resources section includes the key materials that will support you in engaging with this action. And last, we have the certification questions, which is where you can enter information about how your school undertook this action. Based on the depth of the action, you can earn up to 10 points towards your certification level. We also wanted to highlight the action documentation section, which is new this year. You'll find this at the bottom of the certification questions. Examples of documentation you can add include completed worksheets from the Let's Talk Air resource, photos of the Let's Talk Air action taking place at your school, or classroom projects based on the learning of this action. As mentioned, the accompanying resource to this action provides helpful information on air and a series of activities intended to spark curiosity and care for indoor air quality. Students can then use the corresponding worksheets in the Let's Talk Air resource to conduct their own research and raise awareness about the importance of good air quality on human health. These activities include sparking curiosity about air, exploring the components and properties of air, researching why clean air is important for human health, and learning about mold, carbon monoxide, and ventilation, and ways you can improve indoor air quality. Each of these activities can be connected to various curricula. For example, in a languages class, have students record what they know, what they wonder, and what they want to learn about air. This exercise can help guide further inquiry or research questions on air and the effects of air quality on health. In a science class, research the composition of gases in air. Next, have students research the tiny particles, aerosols, which exist in air and their effect on human health. In a media studies class, study respiration and why clean air is important for humans to survive and thrive. Have students create an awareness campaign for the whole school community on the importance of improving indoor air quality. Consider making a poster, video, diorama, or social media post. And in health and physical education, have students research how carbon monoxide, mold, and ventilation play a part in indoor air quality and human health. This action can also be connected to the Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the SDGs, which are a collection of 17 interlinked global goals designed to be a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. The SDGs were set in 2015 by the United Nations General Assembly and are intended to be achieved by the year 2030. They recognize that ending poverty must go hand in hand with strategies to improve health and education, reduce inequality, and spur economic growth, all while tackling climate change and working to preserve our oceans and forests. Most notably, Let's Talk Air and the associated actions described today can be connected specifically to SDG 3, good health and well-being. So here are the other steps you can take to start connecting with the Let's Talk Air action. So you can start learning and review the resources and explore the properties of air. And once you've created your plan, add the Let's Talk Air action to it and review the resources. Also check out the webpage ecoschools.ca/letstalkair as seen on the screen for more information on this topic, including the resource kit. And please be in touch if you have any questions at programs@ecoschools.ca. Just a reminder that social media is a great way to stay connected with EcoSchools. We'd love to see your adventures exploring indoor air quality. Twitter is our most dynamic channel, with many schools, boards, and districts, and general public involved. If you have a Twitter account, please consider following us and we'll follow you back. That brings us to the end of our webinar. Thank you so much for watching the webinar. I hope you found it helpful. We also want to take the time to thank Health Canada for their support in creating the Let's Talk Air action card and associated resources. Thanks and have a great day.